Hello everyone and welcome to some yoga. Unexpected for me because I'm due to be, or I was due to be on holiday, but due to circumstances beyond my control, I'm here on the mat. And it made me think of a wonderful quote by Woody Allen, who wrote, "If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans." Well, he must be having hysterics, thanks to my plans being waylaid. But hey, I used it as an opportunity to go and do some yoga with some of my favorite teachers. And interestingly, all this week when I was attending their classes, they were doing very traditional yoga practices. And by that, I mean, there were lots of sun salutes, there was some meditation, there was some chanting. Don't worry, we're not going to do that because I know it freaks some of you out. But nevertheless, it was a very traditional back to basics yoga. And I realized how much I like that, how much I like the familiarity of dropping into those sun salutes, those rhythmical movements, which are also familiar to us who practice yoga. And it reminded me about what the original purpose of yoga was, and that wasn't to get a yoga body or whatever that is, or tight abs or strong legs, all of which may be beneficial to us and a byproduct to our yoga. But essentially our physical practice was to prepare the mind for a meditation practice, to settle into stillness, to almost get rid of some of that excess energy, so that when we finally come to sit on our mats or come to Shavasana, we can truly relax and settle into stillness. So kind of bearing that in mind, we've got quite a traditional practice this morning. There will be some challenges. And yeah, let's see how we go. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So remember, you can always pop something underneath your bottom, lean up against a wall if that's comfortable. Remember that cross-legged is by no means compulsory, so just bringing your legs into a comfortable position. Let's just bring the shoulders up towards your ears and just pause there for a minute, gathering up any tension that the day, the week, morning or afternoon, whenever you're practicing, might have gathered. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Just feel the shoulder blades slide down the back as you bring your hands either to rest on your knees, on your lap. You can have your palms facing up or down, whatever feels the most intuitive for you today. And tucking the chin in ever so slightly, so you just feel the back of the neck lengthening up without the body drooping forwards. You're going to close your eyes or just bring your gaze just very softly down to the floor in front of you. And by closing down the eyes, or fixing the gaze just on a single point, we're kind of beginning that inward retreat, that blocking out of all external complications and distractions as we begin to focus instead on our breath. And as we begin our practice today, I'm just going to start with a little mantra, a little affirmation, if you like, that you might want to repeat during your practice when you feel yourself getting a little discombobulated. Maybe the events you've got planned for your week ahead begin to pull you forwards, or you start to mull over things that have happened. Maybe these words will help you come back to your practice. I am centered. I am grounded. I am exactly where I need to be. I am centered. I am grounded. I am exactly where I need to be. So as you allow yourself this next hour or so to really be on your mat, to be with your body, to be with your breath, really trying to block out those external pulls on our attention or concentration. Every inhale, just feel the spine beginning to lengthen as you lift up and out of your hips. Every exhale, an opportunity to release any tension you might be holding around the shoulders and the face. around the jaw, across the brow as you feel any signs of concentration or thinking just melting away from the face. Softening into that space between your eyebrows. From this centered and grounded position, bringing your fingertips just down to the floor alongside you, lifting the breastbone as you begin to open up across the chest. And as you inhale and sweep the arms up to the sky and draw them down to your heart, remembering I am centered. So pausing just for a moment and feel that sense of feeling centered on your mat. Lifting up out of the hips, not leaning into the right or the left, rocking forwards or back, but feeling balanced and connected to your sit bones. Taking another inhale as you sweep the arms up. And as you exhale and drawing the hands to the heart, I am grounded. Feeling the weight drop down into your sit bones as you soften your knees if you're sitting cross-legged. Final time as you inhale, sweeping the arms all the way out and up, big breath. And exhaling, hands to heart, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. Brilliant, sweeping the arms out and up, taking an inhale. This time as you exhale, I'm going to split the arms, left arm in front, right arm behind, you're coming into a little twist. Pause as you look over that back shoulder. Inhale through center. And exhale, let's take that in the opposite direction, turning from the waist up. Back to center as you inhale. And this time as you turn to the right, pausing as you spread the arms out wide. And then bringing that left hand down onto your knee or thigh, and the other hand snuggles behind you. Sitting up nice and tall. As you inhale, just letting off that twist, so maybe turning your body towards me a little bit. And then as you exhale, returning to that twist, maybe turning the head over that back shoulder. Twice more as you inhale, just back off just a little. And then as you exhale, you re-dial back into that twist. One more time, inhale, release a little. And exhale, holding that twist now. And then pressing down through that left hand, you're going to reach the right arm up and over, gently pressing down on the knee to keep it away from your hip. Reaching up to the sky, we're going to cross the arms in front of you, right over left. So maybe you come into a big hug, wrapping the arms around you. Or maybe this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you're practicing, you can take an eagle arms. Whatever you're doing, soften the shoulders, you lift the elbows away from the chest. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, dropping the elbows down towards your navel, rounding the back twice more. Inhale, elbows lift up and away. And exhale, coming all the way down, pressing the little finger edge of your hand away from you. If you're an eagle, inhale. Lifting up and exhale. Final time to bow down. Let's circle the arms all the way out, up, releasing the bind as you inhale. And exhale, spinning the hands behind you. Just lean into your hands so you can plant your feet on the floor and cross the legs. Pressing into your hands, open up across the chest. Taking the gaze up, perhaps as you take a nice deep breath in, broadening the collarbones. As you exhale, release, just recross the legs the opposite way. Don't overthink it. Nothing bad will happen if you end up with them cross the same way. Let's sweep the arms up, take an inhale. And twist to the left, so splitting the arms, right arm in front, left arm behind. Pause, spreading out through the fingertips. And then right hand comes down onto your knee. Other hand just slots behind you, sitting up nice and tall. And then again, as you inhale, you just back off ever so slightly. So maybe again, turning towards me. And then as you exhale, we re-twist back into the left side. So inhale, we come back. And exhale, we re-twist the body. One more time, inhale, we come back to center just a little. And exhale, holding that twist now as you maybe take your gaze over that back shoulder. And then pressing down on the knee, let's take the left arm up and over, trying not to let that left knee pop up towards your armpit. This time as you cross the arms, we've got left on top of right. So again, you maybe come into a big cuddle or coming into that eagle. One side might need a little bit of extra care. You might notice one side feels different. And then as we inhale, we lift the elbows and exhale, bowing down, pressing the little finger edge of the hand away from you, sliding those elbows forwards and up. We keep the shoulders soft, face relaxed, feeling that stretch across the upper back as we bow down. One more time, inhale. And exhaling, rounding. Let's sweep the arms up, releasing the bind. Oh, that feels good. Let go of the shoulders, take an inhale. And exhaling, hands behind. Uncrossing the legs, so you can plant the feet about hip width and pressing the chest forwards, maybe lifting the chin up, up, up as you breathe in. And breathing out, crossing the ankles and giving yourself a big hug. Rounding the back, nose towards your knees. And then from there, we'll find our way round onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under your hips. And just pause there for a moment as you spread your fingers nice and wide. And think about your gaze, your drishti, which is important. It's to help us focus and concentrate. So rather than drooping the head and looking back towards your knees, we're gazing again gently forwards with your fingertips so the whole spine, including the neck, is in that beautiful long line. And from there, as you inhale, we dip the belly, tailbone tilts up. Now we begin to take the gaze up as you lift your chin. And exhale, now we drop the gaze as you round the back like that angry cat. Oscillating between those two poses now with your breath as you inhale, chest comes forwards, keep pressing into your hands. And exhale like that angry cat, dropping the gaze as you round your back. Maybe closing the eyes here as we repeat that a couple more times. Feeling that lovely sensation of rippling that movement up and down the spine. Wonderful piece of architecture in our body. Beautiful. The next time you're in the angry cat pause, sending your bottom back towards your heels as you take your child pose. You can rest easy there, bringing your forearms and your forehead down, or as you lower your head, walk your hands forwards a little so you can come up onto the tips of your fingers and thumbs. So as you press those fingertips forwards and down, hug your hips back towards your heels and feel that lengthening through the side body. Take a couple of nice deep breaths in and out in that posture, feeling the breath in the back of the body. Lovely. And then releasing the hands, we'll find our way back onto all fours, realigning those hands under the shoulders. So this is when our gaze is, again, important for concentration. So you take your right leg back behind you. You're going to lift that right leg level with your hip, keeping your gaze forwards with your fingertips. And try not to roll the hip open as you slide the left fingertips forwards. Now you can keep the hand down or keeping the gaze forwards and down. You lift the arm and the leg, stretching apart between the fingertips and the toes as you reach, holding that balance now. Again, coming back, I am centered in my practice. Bringing the hand down, lowering the toes behind you, again, without letting the head drop. Just rock backwards and forwards, nice and gently. Opening up into the back of the knee. And then from there, we're going to tuck the left toes under. We're going to take that right leg up and back into a three-legged dog. Bending the knee as you take your gaze underneath that right armpit, keep pressing into your right hand. As you take some circles of that right knee, few little circles in one direction. Opening up into the hip. You can do this from all fours if you prefer. And then just change direction, just moving the head of the thigh bone around in the socket as you just circle. Lovely. And then we'll lower that foot all the way down to the floor, coming back onto all fours as you inhale and exhale, taking a child pose. This time we'll keep the hands flat. Inhaling onto all fours. And this time as you exhale, sliding the arms forward so we can meet in Sphinx pose. Elbows settled underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and lengthen the legs out behind you so you feel the front of the hips are dropping heavily into the mat. Coming back to our mantra, feeling grounded through the lower body. As you draw the elbows back towards the sides of the waist, we take the gaze forwards. Beautiful. So a little movement here. Maybe you want to stay in your Sphinx pose, pressing down into your forearms. Or as you inhale, we're going to lift the chin a little as you press down into your forearms. And as you exhale, drop your chin. You're going to press into your knees and just lift up into a little baby plank so your thighs, your hips come off the floor. And then as you inhale, you lower your hips, you lift your chin. And then as you exhale, feeling the core beginning to wake up as you press into your elbows and lift on up. Maybe you're just lifting the chin as we do that twice more. You can just move your head if this plank is a little bit too much for your back or your core this morning. Inhale as you lift up last time. And exhaling, rounding the back as you press down. We'll meet in Sphinx pose. Lifting up one last time, feeling that lovely proud, lifting up through your chest and that sense of heaviness through your hips. And then elbows part, hands under shoulders, we'll push back up onto all fours, and we'll try that on the other side. So coming back to that lovely tabletop position, gazes forward as you slide left leg back, so the head isn't drooping down, we're keeping the gaze forwards. As you lift that left leg, keeping both hip points pointing down, we slide the right fingertips forwards. And then maybe lift the arm, thumb up as though you're shaking hands with someone. And we try and lengthen through the arm, through the leg, being pulled gently in opposite directions. Feeling centered there. As you reach, might be some wibble wobbles, in which case maybe just use the leg, bring the hand down to the mat. And bringing the hand down, taking the leg back behind you, toes tucked under, and rock gently backwards and forwards. Again, take care that the head hasn't dropped, we're still gazing forwards. And then you can stay on all fours and do those hip openers or tuck the right toes under. We take the left leg up and back into that three-legged dog, and then bending the knee, pointing the knee up towards the sky as you take those little circles in one direction. Keep pressing evenly through the hands as you work into the hip. 2 circles one way, and then a few in the opposite direction. Again, you might notice those little imbalances in the body. One side might feel stiffer today. Then coming back down coming onto a downward facing dog. As you inhale, let's come back down onto all fours. And as you exhale, flatten your feet to come back down into that child pose. Coming up onto all fours, breath in, sliding the hands forward. So again, we can meet in that Sphinx pose. And take a moment there to check the elbows really are underneath the shoulders. So the chest feels proud. Pulling up from the navel center, stretching the legs back behind you. And again, that little work for the core. As you inhale, we press down through the elbows and lift the chin. And exhale, drop the head, press into your knees, and we lift up into that little plank. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the chin. And exhale, that little rounding through the back body, twice more. Inhaling, remember you can just stay in Sphinx pose if this is a little bit too much. Remember to listen to your body one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. We'll meet in that Sphinx pose. Again, that gazing forwards, like that beautiful enigmatic statue of the Sphinx. And then elbows wide, hands under the shoulders, we'll push back all fours. And from all fours, we'll meet in downward facing dog. So walking your feet in a little bit to get that lovely inverted V shape from the body. As you start to walk the feet, bending one knee and then the other, maybe a little movement of your hips from side to side, a little shake of the head. And then as you come to stillness, again, remembering your gaze is important to help us, not just with our concentration, but also the comfort of the neck. So maybe you want to bring your gaze forward between your thumbs. I prefer to look straight down in the middle of my mat, or you might even take your gaze back between your heels, whatever works for you. Pausing there as you press your hands forwards and down, stretching the heels back behind you, remembering a deep knee bend is absolutely fine. And then we'll all add that deep knee bend. As you bend your knees, we'll look forwards, and as you inhale, step or help your right foot forwards and lower that back knee. Going to sweep the arms all the way out up as you come into that crescent lunge. And from here, you can keep the arms apart or interlacing the hands, freeing up index fingers. And send those index fingers up towards the sky, upper arms are hugging the ears. And if it feels good on your back, start to lift the chest or maybe move the arms back a little way, coming into a tiny back bend. Let's take one more inhale. And as you exhale, swim the hands down. We're going to frame the front foot and tuck the back toes under. Chest is lifted as you inhale, moving the hips back into that lovely hamstring stretch. Maybe you want to slide that heel forwards and draw the toes back towards your face, taking care your hips haven't swung. over to the left side of your mat. Maybe you stay here, or you take an inhale, lift up a little higher. And as you exhaling, melting the chest down over that front leg, tucking the chin in, feeling that gentle pull on the hamstring. Never any pinching at the back of the knee. And then we'll all plant the front foot, bending the knee. Left hand stays on the floor as you reach that right arm up to the sky. And the option to lift that back knee as you stretch out long through the heel. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale as you bring the hands down, and we'll step back into your downward facing dog. Again, little opportunity to pedal out through the feet, movement through the hips. Then bending the knees, look forwards. As you inhale, left foot, help it through to the top of your mat as you lower the back knee. Sweeping the arms up as you inhale. Interlacing the hands again, or keeping the arms apart, freeing up the point fingers as you send those index fingers up towards the sky, softening the shoulders, upper arms, hugging your ears, maybe lifting the chest, taking that baby back bend if that feels good. Taking one more inhale. And as you exhale, we swim the hands down. I'm going to tuck my back toes under. You can keep the toes flat if that is preferable for you. Lift your chest as you inhale. Sliding hips back, maybe taking that front heel a little further away from you as you pull the toes back towards your face. Remember, a deep knee bend might suit some hamstrings. If you want more, you lift the chest on an inhale, and exhale, melt yourself down, tucking the chin in, just allowing yourself to bow down over that left leg. A couple of breaths there, feeling that gentle opening up in the back of the leg. We'll rebend the knee, planting the right hand down, left arm lifts up as you come into that twist. Option, lift the back knee, stretching out strongly through the heel. And lowering the hands down, and we'll step back downward face. This time from your downward dog, walking your feet towards your hands, coming to the top of your mat. And bend your knees generously, maybe cradle opposite elbows, and have a little sway of the body from side to side. Just let it all go. Beautiful. And then as you release your elbows, you're going to slide the hands up towards your thighs, straightening the legs. It's that flat back, feel the shoulders sliding away from your ears as you inhale. And exhale, rebend the knees as you come down into your fold. Hands on the shins maybe this time as you inhale, pressing against the legs to bring your chest forwards. And exhale to fold. Staying with either of those two options, or maybe fingertips on the floor, lifting up to the back. Is it more of a diagonal angle now? A little arching of the back. Also, you're doing a little cow pose there as you inhale. And exhale to fold. Let's all soften the knees, rise up to stand, sweeping the arms out and up, taking a big breath in. And exhaling, hands coming down to heart. Now you can keep your feet hip width apart this next time, or a little bit of balance challenge, bringing your feet together, feeling yourself centered and grounded on your mat through your feet as you press down through all four corners of the feet. We're going to take the arms up. Taking hold of that right wrist with your left hand, you're going to reach up as you inhale and taking that little half moon. So if you've got your feet together as you bump the hips over to the side, requires a little bit more balance. Coming up through the center and swapping sides, reaching up and over, bumping the hips over to the left. And then reaching the arms up, take an inhale. As you circle the hands to the heart, we'll separate your feet hip width apart. Coming into some sun salutes. Sun salute A, Surya Namaskar A. Beginning to work with our body, work with our breath. So again, as we flow through those maybe familiar moves, and feeling yourself dropping back into your practice, letting all distractions drop away. So taking a nice deep breath in, we'll circle the arms out and up. And as you exhale, coming all the way down. As you inhale, step your right leg back. And as you exhale, coming into plank. Inhale as you rock the weight forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, knees down, chest down, hug those elbows in towards the side body. Finding your baby cobra as you inhale. And as you exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a moment maybe to walk those feet in. Taking a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, send those heels back down towards the mat. One more nice deep breath in. And settling into that stillness of your downward facing dog as you exhale. And as you bend the knees, look forwards. As you inhale, step your right foot forwards. And exhale the left. Rising on an inhale, pressing down through the feet. And exhaling, hands to heart. Other side, sweeping the arms out and up, take an inhale. All the way down as you exhale. Inhaling, left leg, long stride back. Followed by the right. Shifting the weight forwards as you inhale. And exhale, knees lifted or lowered, yogi's choice. Coming up into your cobra as you inhale. And we'll meet downward facing hip side. Two nice deep rounds of breath there, breathing in. Finding a little bit more depth through those heels as you breathe out. One more time, nice deep breath in. And a release, maybe through the mouth, letting it go. Bending the knees as you inhale, step your left foot forwards, followed by the right. Rising on an inhale. As you bring the hands to the heart, just pausing there, settling into stillness. Beautiful. So keeping the hands to the heart, a bit of balance challenge. Just going to pick up your right heel. So picking up your right heel. And pausing there, it's just making sure you've not bumped your hips out to the left. So standing up nice and tall, you're going to bring that right knee up and towards the chest. Now without leaning back, you're going to kick that leg forward. So keep the leg low if you need to. Bringing the knee back in towards the chest. And this time kicking back behind you, letting the body hinge forwards into your warrior three. You can always touch the toes down. Stretching, stretching, stretching out through the ball of the foot. And you slowly bring that knee back up towards your chest on an inhale. And exhale, both feet underneath you. Other side, picking up the left heel, so pausing there. Stretching out through that right side, so you're lifting up nice and tall as you bring that left knee up towards your chest. Pause. And then stretching the leg forwards again, trying not to lean back. Knee to chest as you inhale. Exhale as you kick back, warrior three. Stretching out through the ball of the foot, then on an inhale, can you slowly bring that knee back up towards your chest, wibble wobbles. And exhale, both feet underneath you. Keeping both feet underneath you, you're going to drop the hips back, coming into that chair pose. So hold on, peep at the knees, take care they're not rolling in. Chest nice and high as you may be, extend the arms forward, you can always keep them at your heart, or even reaching the arms up. Again, we're not dropping the gaze, we're not dropping the chest. Taking that gaze forward as you reach out strongly through your fingertips. Let's take one more inhale. And as you exhale, folding down. Lifting up halfway, take an inhale. As you exhale, I'm going to slide or step your right leg back. Dropping the heel in, the toes out, ready for our warrior one. So maybe walking that left foot out towards your left hand. And when you're ready, we're rising up. Taking the arms up, pressing that front knee forwards as you press out strongly through the back heel. So we're not rolling that knee, that back knee inwards. With back leg is lovely and straight. And then from there, slowly, you're going to bring the elbows in towards the waist. And make little fists so the elbows are pulling back. You're going to straighten that front leg. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, re-bend the front knee and reach forwards, long back. So as you inhale, you pull those elbows back nice and strong as you open up through the chest. And then as you exhale, you reach forwards. One more time, inhale. And exhale to lengthen the back. This time, keep the front knee bent. Bring those elbows in towards the waist and then straighten the arms back behind you, interlacing the hands. Pull the knuckles down towards that back knee. Open up through the chest. Maybe you stay there or begin to melt yourself down on the inside of that front thigh. Arms lift up and over, coming into humble warrior. If you need to bring both hands onto that left knee for support, go ahead. Slowly releasing the arms. And we use our strength to rise up back into that strong warrior, taking an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down, pivot on the back foot, we'll meet in downward dog. And child pose might be an option, or that little flow with me to plank as you inhale. Knees lifted or lowered, we make our way down onto the belly. Maybe a cobra, maybe an upward dog, pressing into palms of hands, tops of feet. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, bring your feet, your knees together, bending your knees, looking forwards. And as you inhale, walk, step or hop to the top of the mat. And exhale, bowing down over the legs. Rising up to stand, take an inhale. As you bring the hands to the heart, separate your feet, find your focus. Again, chest is lifted, gaze is forwards as you drop the hips, coming into that chair pose. Hands might stay at the heart, or again, we've got the options. If you're reaching the arms forwards, take care you're not pulling the arms out the sockets, so draw the shoulders back into their sockets. Maybe even reach the arms up to the sky. Can you sink a little deeper? Keeping those knees on top of the ankles, or take an inhale. And exhale to fold. Lifting up halfway, take an inhale. And this time as we exhale, we're going to take that left leg back. So it's not a big, long stride, it's a shorter stride, and we're going to walk that right foot towards your right hand, toes the back foot turned out. So when you rise on up, you've got your heart and your hips facing to the top of your mat. So go ahead and widen your feet if you find that that's not working for you. Pressing out through the outside edge of that back foot so we're not collapsing on the inner knee. We'll bring the elbows in towards the waist, making those little fists. We're going to straighten the legs as you inhale. And as you exhale, bend the front knee as you reach forwards, long, long back. Inhale, elbows draw back so the collarbones broaden there. And then exhale, we extend forwards. Lovely. One more time. Inhale. Exhale to reach. This time we'll bring those elbows into the waist. Keep the front knee bent as you take the arms back behind you. As you interlace your hands, maybe move the little fingers along one so you interlace in the awkward way. I know, it always feels funny. Draw the knuckles down as you lift the chest, maybe staying there or bowing down. Arms lift up and over so you're gazing towards the back of your mat, taking those arms up. Again, you can rest both hands on that front knee if you need a little bit more support. And then releasing the arms. Hands find the floor, pivot on the back foot as we meet in downward dog. Option to rest, or again, that little flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale to lower, no shame in using the knees if that helps you come down in one straight line. Find your back bend. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. From your downward dog, your feet, your knees together, bend the knees, look forwards. And as you inhale, walk, step, hop, lots of little hops to the top of the mat. And exhale to fold. Let's rise on up. Breath in. As you bring the hands down to the heart, separating your feet, pause there for a moment, closing down the eyes. Just feel the energy flowing through the body as you begin to reconnect with your breath, slowing it down. Beautiful. I'm going to turn to the other side of my mat so I can mirror you. And so again, remembering to keep the body upright. Once again, we're going to lift that right heel. And picking that knee up. And flexing the foot, let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to kick that leg forwards. Inhale as you bring the knee up towards your chest. Exhale, coming into that warrior three. So you're extending out long through that right leg. Pause. From there, we're going to bring the right foot down, dropping the heel and the toes out, and opening the arms up into that warrior two. So go ahead and slither that front foot forwards, making sure the heel of the front foot is lined up with the arch of the back foot. And this time our gaze, our drishti is over our front fingertips. And taking an inhale. And as you exhale, sink a little deeper, send that front knee forwards, keep that gaze strong. And then as you turn both palms up, as you inhale, maybe take the gaze up as you reach the arms up above your head, straightening that front leg. Gaze forwards as you exhale back into your warrior. Strong. through the lower body as you inhale, light through the upper body, reaching up, up, up. And exhale, re-bending the knee. There's no rush. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, pausing in that warrior. And as you reach forwards, dropping the left forearm to your thigh, left hand onto your belly to remind yourself to draw your belly in. And we take that right arm, maybe straight up towards the sky. Or maybe you want to reach that top arm alongside your ear. You can keep the gaze down towards the floor. Or take your gaze up underneath your armpit, taking care you're not sticking your bottom back behind you. Beautiful. Back into your warrior, reaching the arms out. As you take the arms up to the sky, this time we're going to turn the toes forwards. And just bring your hands to your hips as you maybe shorten your stance if you're very wide in the legs like me there. The heels in, the toes out. Now bend the knees. Say you're sliding your back down an imaginary wall. So again, we're not sticking the bottom back behind us, coming into our goddess pose. Our goddess pose is based on the goddess Durga, who rides a tiger. So imagine now you're holding the reins of your tiger as you reach the arms forwards, making fists. And we draw those elbows back in towards the waist, opening up through the chest like we did before. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, reach forwards, keep low in the legs. So as you inhale, that strong pulling back through the arms. And exhale, release, taking hold of those reins one more time. Inhale. And exhale, turning the palms up, straightening the legs as you turn the toes forwards, breath in. And as you breathe out, hinging down into your forward fold, maybe your hands on the thighs or shins, or maybe you can reach the floor. Little movement might serve you well there, a little shift of the weight from side to side before you find a moment of stillness. And maybe there's enough giving the hamstrings to take your hands maybe to the outside of the legs, or you can even walk your hands between your legs with your fingertips pointing away from you. Whatever feels good. A little softening of the knees, taking the sting out of the hamstring. Lovely. And then from there, walking the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting up through the chest. Now looking towards that left foot. Now turn that left foot towards the top of your mat, so you're facing towards the top of the mat. And pushing off that back foot, we're going to come to our flat back as you inhale. And as you exhale, fold over the legs, rising up to stand. Take an inhale. And exhaling, hands to heart. Let's try that on the other side. So again, pause, reset, find your focus. Maybe revisit that affirmation. I am exactly where I need to be. I'm feeling grounded through that right leg. I'm going to pick up the left knee this time. Flexing the foot as you inhale, we're going to kick it forwards, body stays upright. Knee to chest as you inhale. Kicking back as you exhale, find that warrior three. Find your edge, find the wobbles. We're going to tap the toes down, coming into our warrior two. So as you open up through the arms, making those fine tunings to alignment. Walking the front foot forwards, again, outside edge of that back foot, stretching out and down as you reach the arms out and taking that drishti, that gaze forwards. Nothing else matters. Just looking beyond your fingertips as you sink a little deeper into that front foot. And as you turn those palms up, inhaling, reaching up towards the sky, maybe taking the gaze up, straighten the front leg. And as you re-bend the knee, you take the gaze forwards, that drishti, that all-important center of concentration. Twice more. Inhale, pulling up through your center. And exhale to re-bend. Beautiful. Can we do that one more time? Making sure that front knee isn't rolling in. Keep pressing out towards the little toe edge. As you lean forwards, right hand to thigh, right hand to your belly. Again, a reminder to tuck the belly in and the hips under as you reach that left arm up, or as you extend it forwards, keep the chest square to me, maybe the chin in as you look up, or taking the gaze down, reaching out long. Beautiful. Coming back up into your warrior. And again, as you reach the arms up, turning the toes forwards. And hands to hips again, maybe shortening your stance if you feel a little wibbly wobbly. Heels in, toes out. Or sink down into your goddess, maybe coming down a little lower there. Knees pressed out towards the little toe edge. tailbone tucked under, reaching those arms forwards with that brave goddess. So as you draw the elbows in towards the waist, take an inhale, and exhale, reach them forwards, maybe sink a little deeper. Twice more, inhale, holding onto those reins, and exhale, beautiful. One more time, inhale. Exhale, lovely. Turning the toes forwards, reaching the arms up, taking an inhale. And exhale, hinging forwards into your forward fold. Maybe trying something different today. Maybe you want to stay with a little bit of movement, or stretching the inner thighs as you rock the hips softly from side to side. Or again, finding that moment of stillness in your forward fold. And bringing the hands higher up the legs and the heart lifted if you feel giddy with your head below your heart. Then we'll walk the hands forwards. Just lifting the chest a little bit, allowing blood pressure to settle as you look towards your right foot. And that's where we're going to walk your hands to frame that right foot, pushing off the back foot into your flat back as you inhale and exhale to fold. Let's rise up to stand. Take that inhale. Hands to heart. Again, maybe pause, close the eyes, reset, refocus. So as you blink your eyes open, this final little balance challenge, our drishti, our gaze, important. So keeping the gaze down, finding something that's not going to move or wibble wobble. That's probably not going to be me. And the feet are hip width apart. And so again, reminding us that we are centered, we are grounded. We're going to pick up your right heel. And then go ahead and interlace the hands around the front of the knees. See if you can squeeze that knee up towards your chest. Knee towards chest rather than chest towards knee. And then from there, finding your tree pose. Maybe today you need the support of the floor, that's fine. So wherever you are, keeping the knee open as you return the hands to the heart, lifting up and out of that standing leg, feeling centered, feeling grounded. And keeping the palms together, we're going to reach the arms up to the sky. Bending the elbows, just bringing the thumbs behind the back of the head, drawing the elbows back, feel that lovely stretch across the chest. And then reaching the arms up and out, and connecting your thumb and your first finger as you reach the arms up. The mudra that's said to help with concentration. Find your breath. Keep the gaze, that drishti, on your point on the floor. And then bringing the hands to the heart. We'll step that foot underneath you, taking that little pad side to side. If you wibbled, if you wobbled, rather than feeling frustrated, just acknowledge. But today, maybe we just need to modify our posture. Finding the yoga pose that fits our body rather than trying to squeeze our body into the yoga pose. So shifting the weight into your right leg, I'm going to pick up the left heel. And maybe you stay there, or picking up the knee, interlacing the hands in front or behind the knee. You're going to get that knee a squeeze up towards your chest, dropping the tailbone down. And if you're wibbly wobbly, again, acknowledging that today might be the day that you gratefully and graciously accept the support of the floor. You find your tree pose, opening that knee, lifting up and out of that standing leg, hands to heart. Keep the gaze on that drishti, that point that doesn't move as you take the arms up. Bending the elbows, bringing the thumbs to the back of the head, drawing the elbows back again, feeling that little stretch across the chest. And then reaching the arms up, separating the hands, connecting thumb and first finger as you reach and lift up. And then as you draw the hands back to the heart, pointing that knee forwards and bringing both feet underneath you. Oh, my hip gave an interesting clunk then. Having that little pad out. Bending the knees, reaching the arms out and up. Let's take an inhale. And exhale, we fold. Lifting up halfway, last time into your flat back. We'll step back into your downward dog. From downward dog, as you drop down onto your knees, maybe widen your knees if that's okay for your hips. Put your big toes together as you take that wide-kneed child pose. Space for the chest to broaden. And I'm going to take my elbows up to the side, resting one hand on top of the other. forehead on your hands. And from that point, I can really let go of any tension in my shoulders and my upper body. And again, the eyes closed, you begin to bring your focus more inward now, more introspective as we take these forward folds. Forward folds said to be cooling and calming, a reset for the nervous system. When you're ready, slowly, calmly, no sense of haste now as you lift yourself up, drawing the knees together, and we'll just swing the legs around in front of you. Giving the legs a little shake again, you can always pop something underneath you to slightly drop the pelvis forwards and elevate the hips if you're very tight in your hamstrings and hips. Keeping a softness in the knees, you're going to reach the arms up, take an inhale. As you come into your forward fold, try to keep that lovely length through the spine. So rather than worrying about reaching your toes, grabbing your feet, let's think about tucking the chin in, keeping that lovely length and shape through the spine as you gently bow down over the legs. Again, maybe closing the eyes. The big whole body movements are over now as you begin to again prepare the body for stillness. Slowly coming up through center. Bring that right knee up and in towards your chest. You can keep the foot on the inside. You can cross over to the outside of the left leg. You can even hook the left leg around you, providing you can sit comfortably and feel centered between your heels there. Left hand or elbow gives the knee a squeeze. Before we twist, let's circle that right arm. So let the movement of the arm turn the body into that twist. Hand to the floor, or like me, you might prefer to rest your hand on your low back. Again, closing the eyes as you twist the body to the right. Sitting up nice and tall, feeling that the weight is even across your sit bones, especially if you've got the legs a little cross like me. Coming back through the center, we keep the legs as they are. We simply move the body in the opposite direction, unwinding through the spine. Coming back to center, leaning into your hands so you can give those legs a little shake. Or swap sides, so left knee comes up. You can keep it on the inside, the outside, or again, space, hips and knees permitting. You can hook the other foot round again and find that moment of feeling centered. Right hand or elbow hugs the knee in, and let that movement through the left arm as you circle it round take you into your twist. Feel the spine lengthening as you close the eyes gently. Slowly we move the body in the opposite direction, just gently unraveling through the spine. And releasing, uncrossing the legs, giving them a shake, and then coming down on your back with your feet just snuggled in towards your sit bones, your fingertops lengthening down towards your heels. We're going to come into a gentle inversion, into our shoulder bridge. So pressing through the feet, we're going to lift the hips up. You might choose to lift and lower with your breath, inhaling to lift the hips up, exhaling to lower, or holding with the hips high, checking that the front of the pelvis is square to the ceiling there, and maybe tucking one shoulder blade and then the other underneath you so you can interlace your hands, pressing the little finger edge of your hand down into the mat, feeling the broadness of your chest as you lift those hips up. Coming back to that steady breath as you gently squeeze the bottom. As you bring the hands back down by the sides, maybe lifting up onto your tippy toes, rolling down through the spine, maybe keeping those heels lifted as you roll through the vertebrae. Hugging those knees in towards the chest, having a rock from side to side. And then keeping both hands on the right knee, go ahead and stretch that left leg out in front of you, heel on the floor. That knee might want to kind of roll out towards your armpit a little bit, which is fine, but try and keep those left toes up towards the sky as you press down through the heel. Then very simply, we'll swap sides. Left knee comes up and in, right heel plants on the floor, toes up towards the sky. And extending that left leg, reaching both arms back above the head, and pause there as you find that full body stretch. Maybe a little bit of movement there, a little wiggle and jiggle to get rid of any last feelings of tension or tightness in the body. And then as you lower the arms, maybe letting your toes roll apart as you find Shavasana. And if this doesn't suit you, lying outstretched, knowing that you can rebend your knees, take the feet wide and let your inner knees rest against each other. I'm just going to come to seated so I can talk to you. So as you find your stillness, and trying to find a moment in stillness in Shavasana. So get any wiggling or jiggling, any fine-tuning out of the way. And so you can close down the eyes and just let the body rest. And this beautiful poem called Surrender by Claudia Cummins that just kind of sums up the feelings we hope to foster when we finally settle into our Shavasana at the end of the process. Surrender. This blessing wants you to remember the gift of surrender. It wants you to unclench your fists and soften your mind. It wants you to let go of your ceaseless, empty struggles in order to reclaim cleaner breath and a deeper peace. This blessing wants you to let life be just as it is. It wants you to reshape your vision until you can see that gifts that arrive unbidden when we simply relax into what is without holding on to a single thing. Surrender calls us over and over to let go, to relinquish tight control over our lives, to settle in, perhaps sometimes even to sink. And it requires faith that despite the letting go, we are still held in the steady arms of life. This blessing wants you to remember the deep blue relief that comes when we accept life on its own terms, full and free. It urges you to walk across the threshold of acceptance and all the way home to contentment and true love. So knowing that you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you need to. Time, all important time after the physical movement to linger in stillness. To get on with the rest of the day, maybe bringing some gentle movement back into your fingers, your toes, perhaps just a simple roll across the head from side to side. We'll meet with the knees hugged in towards your chest. You might want to take a full body stretch before you get there, and then hugging those knees in. And calmly and quietly rolling onto one side. It really doesn't matter whether it's the left side or the right side, coming up to seated. We'll bring the fingertips just down by the side of the hips. So again, you can press down lightly through the hands, lift up through the chest. And take a nice deep breath in as you sweep the arms out and up. And as you exhale, hands to heart, I am centered. Sweeping the arms out and up. Let's take an inhale. Hands to heart. I am grounded. Last time, inhale. And exhaling. I am exactly where I need to be. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, and hope to see you soon.